Welcome to another episode of the 100% podcast with me, your host, Harry Purdy. Today, I'm joined by no guest. Today, we are going through another episode of 100% with Harry Purdy, where I'm going to be talking to you about 6 hacks to generate electric energy in the mornings and to make you have a super day, whatever mood you wake up in. Now, one thing that I think I've stumbled across a few times in my life when it was at my worst is waking up with that feeling of really low energy, right? And over the last 5 years, since 2019, when I had my mini breakdown at Christmas in 2019, I've generated ways and learnt ways from insane people like Paul Moore, like Dax Moy, like James Smith on how to regulate energy and get the best out of yourself going into the day ahead of you. So, without further ado, I'm going to go straight into the list. I don't want today's podcast to be too long because I do want to just chuck in a little bit about me and my training moving forward as well at the end, and as well talk about the 100% journal and how you can work with me. So, let's get on with this show today. Number one, hydrate. One of the biggest ways and most underrated ways that we can energize ourselves in the morning is by hydrating ourselves properly. And again, this is something that's coming into fruition a lot more recently. You're seeing more products that are advertising as hydration products. You're seeing people talk about it more because I firmly am of the belief that when we say or think we're hydrated, sometimes we may not be. And also, I think people have been hydrating in the wrong way for a long time. And unfortunately slash fortunately, there is a market for this as well now. So there are many products that can help us. Some of them are really good, some of them are really bad. But also in the same breath, the water content that we drink from our taps at home may not be hydrating us in the way that we actually want it to be. But I'll let you go and do your own research into that. But today, I want to talk to you about hydrating properly and how we can use electrolytes to support our energy. The main electrolytes include calcium, magnesium, sodium, and potassium. And these four produces there, these four minerals there, support how our body functions during the day and can ensure that our energy levels stay as high as possible. So go away and do your own research into getting hydrated properly, making sure that you're using the correct produce, a good produce with a high amount of those four minerals that I've stated there. They're almost like a mini superhero to our body. They pass our blood around our body properly. They make us feel more mentally stimulated. They keep us focused for longer and can regulate our hormones as well. And if you are a woman, that may be something that as well, if you have a feeling of low energy a lot, it's something that you may want to think about. Are you regularly hydrating yourself in a proper way? So that's number one. And that can be the first thing that you do that can support your energy going into the day. That leads me into my next one, which is caffeine. And I'm not going to say to you actually that to take caffeine straight away in the morning. I see far too many people diving for a coffee first thing in the morning or diving for a caffeine supplement first thing in the morning before they've given their body a time to wake up. Now, the reason why taking caffeine in the day, early in the day, may be a negative impact on your energy throughout the day, it was because it's dialectic anyway. So we've just spoken about being hydrated. Coffee and caffeine will do the complete opposite. It's going to dehydrate you if you're taking a high quantity of caffeine. Secondly, if you take caffeine early in your day, there is a higher chance, not saying a really high chance, there is a higher chance that you are then going to experience a lull when the caffeine wears off later in the day. Now, caffeine is an insanely strong chemical, an insanely strong supplement that does stay in your body a long, long time. And it still has a 25% threshold or impact on your body, even 12 hours after you've taken it. So it's something that we really need to be cautious of. Two other reasons that I've wrote down here why it it may not be the best thing for your energy, especially straight away in the morning. It can make you feel stressed. And this is where it comes into affecting with your affecting your cortisol levels. So your cortisol levels is essentially your body's alarm clock. It helps you with your sleep pattern, it helps you with your stress. And caffeine will affect that if you're taking a lot of it early in the morning. And also, when you think about a lot of people's struggles with feeling stressed and anxious, having too much caffeine can impact that in a negative way too. So, if caffeine is one of those things that you think you've been relying on to create good energy, maybe taking some of it out of your regular routine may be the best thing for you to do right now, just to see the difference in how you feel and why it's a bad thing, or why it could be deemed as a bad thing for you personally. So, there's number two. Moving on to the third one about how I generate electric energy in the mornings is I journal every day. I've got it in front of me right now. In fact, it's where I've put my notes down for this podcast. And the reason actually isn't necessarily for the fact that because I'm writing on paper, right? It's not as plain sailing as that. What journaling does for me in the mornings is it attaches me to my future and my goals. And when I think about where I want to go right now with growing the podcast, with growing the 100% community and having more clients and starting one-to-one training sessions with people, and even my own fitness journey and where I want to go with that, writing down my goals in the morning gets me connected to them. And when we wake up and we don't feel motivated and we feel like we have a lack of energy, it's because we're not attaching ourselves to something that we want to be attached to, right? Something that's getting us fired up, something that's giving us that electric energy to go and shift, to go and move, to go and do what we said we would, to go and act the person, act like the rock star, act like the movie star that you want to be in your own life. You are the main character. And when I journal in the morning, the 100% journal offers you an opportunity to set those goals of what you want to be attached to in the day, whether it be fitness related, finance related, whether it be family related, whether it be connected to doing something entertaining in the day, whatever it may be, a new experience, whatever it may be. And I understand we work 5 days a week too, but what that does it just stops our brain from thinking about things that we're not necessarily happy about or not necessarily being energized by. So journaling for me is just a non-negotiable in the morning. It's something that has to be done. I have to, even if I just write down my 4 goals for the day, it's something that is done and can generate that electric energy that we're talking about in this episode. The other thing that also moving on to number 4 is getting some form of sunlight into your system. And now I know that people are different, right? Some people can get up at the crack of dawn and get out. Some people have pets, so that gives them an excuse to get out into sunlight and take on board that, well, cortisol regulating thing, not deregulating thing, which is sunlight, which sets our alarm clock. It makes us aware that we're awake and it's the morning, and can almost calm our nervous system in a way that we're calming our alarm clock. We've woken up out of bed, we're getting that sunlight into our system. But also, when it is sunny, and it is August now, and we're not seeing too much of the sun, when it is sunny, that vitamin D that the sun provides is a huge, huge boost, a huge hormone boost, a huge cortisol boost for us, and again, can add to our energy. Obviously, being even sat by your window with a coffee or sat in the garden with a coffee for 5-10 minutes in the morning can have a massive percentage difference on how your body is regulating itself with its energy, with its cortisol levels, and even impact things like your motivation and your sleep moving forward. Again, like I said to you, I don't want to overwhelm you with the information I'm giving you here. We've just got the 6 hacks today. So moving on to the last 2 for this little 6 hacks, 6 tips, whatever you want to call it. I love, not all the time, but I love to sit down with my morning cup of tea and watch some motivational content. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you have somebody shouting at you um, through the TV or on YouTube. It just means that you watch something that might generate you some kind of motivation, some kind of feeling of, core, I want that, or some kind of brain spark moment, light bulb moment where you're like, wow, I genuinely resonate with what this person's saying on the TV. And I think it really varies with who it is that you would like to listen to in the morning. Like, for example, listening to somebody like Les Brown, maybe, who is a insanely well-known speaker from America, maybe a little bit too much for you. Or and Tony Robbins might be too much for you too. But listening to somebody like Peter Sage or Paul Moore in the morning may be completely the thing that you need to hear. And generate that energy in your morning that makes you go out there. And like I said, you're attaching yourselves to your goals with your journal, and then you're going to go and watch somebody that's just going to light a spark in you. And in comparison, what else are you consuming in the morning? If you're consuming the news, if you're consuming your too much of your mobile phone, if you're literally waking up and logging straight into your work emails, you've got to think about the opposite effect here. We're talking about generating energy. What are the things that you might be doing that might be taking away your energy? I've given you three things there to maybe ponder on, but there's another thing. The other thing as well that I can add into that motivational content for me, when I'm not listening to that motivational content in the morning, not plugging myself into a YouTube video or listening to a podcast, it's music. What music can I listen to in the morning that's going to pump me up? Not pump me up in a sense that I'm going to listen to like Eminem on full blast, but what's going to make me feel good? What's going to give me that energy to feel good? And I think music is an insanely powerful tool that not enough of us dip into when we want to create ourselves some form of energy. And then the final one in this list of 6 things is movement. And I know, again, we've spoke about the the benefits of being able to be a morning person and get up. And I will openly admit I'm not great in the mornings. I like anything pre 7 o'clock is normally out of the cards for me, just because I know I function better later on in the day. And if you go all the way back in my podcast history, one of the first conversations I had with anybody um, from the professional element of sport or mindset and all those kind of things, a guy called Nick Littlehouse, who's a sleep expert. He was Cristiano Ronaldo's sleep coach, to name a few, said that it's genuinely a thing. There are people who are night owls, and there are people who are more like morning birds, essentially. And I'm certainly not a morning bird, so I have to work my morning routine around probably not having time to go out and get in the gym or go for a massive run in the morning unless I plan to. And I probably will also be planning on getting some form of nap in the afternoon to again regulate my energy levels. But going back to the main point here, movement is key. And again, it doesn't even need to be too much. We just want to be getting out of our brains and into our bodies. That could be by adding in a little 20 sit up, 20 press up, 20 star jump routine in the morning, just to get us out of our heads and into our feeling, into our body, making us feel that blood pump around our body and get us rejuvenated for the day ahead. So that is your 6 hacks. That is your 6 tips for generating electric energy. And I do promise you that if you include 3 of these things, or the whole 6, in your morning routine for 2 weeks, day to day to day to day to day, and you are somebody here who's listening who struggles with their energy, who struggles with their motivation, who has a real issue keeping momentum in the goal chasing that they're going on in their lives, whether it be with regards to setting up a business, with whatever. It could be even losing weight, gener growing muscle, whatever, taking on a running journey. It genuinely doesn't matter. Adding some form of morning routine to generate energy will be a plus in the box for you, because too many of us just get locked into autopilot in the morning, the normal stuff, bang the news on, cup of coffee, feed ourselves with negativity, and wonder why we are not motivated and not energetic in the day. If we swap them out with some new positive energy supporting routine, with a new positive energy supporting routine, it can be the thing that can be a life changing or make a life changing difference for us as a person, as a human who wants to go out and impact the world. So, linking in journaling, of course, I have to. I have a 2 week free journal, which is available in my bio, or you can just DM me or email me and ask for it. This is going to, like I said, be the stimulant, the start for you to go out there and change your life, smash your goals, stop giving in to procrastination, stop giving in to that feeling of lethargicness, and create this new level of energy that you want. So it's the 100% journal. It does everything that I've said on the tin in regards to journaling. It gives you that opportunity to set your goals. It gives you that opportunity to define how you want to feel in that day and create that new energy. With regards to me right now, if anybody is interested and wants an update, I've got a new running goal on the horizon. My training has just started. I'm 9 weeks out from my next half marathon, which is Bournemouth. I am aiming for a sub 150. I know I'm going to have to pull my finger out to go and get that, but I do know and I do say that if I do the work, if we do the work, we can get the goal that we're striving for. So I do believe that's in reach. I don't think I'm too far away. I had my sweat test with precision hydration. I'm creating a video on over the next couple of weeks to give you an insight into what happened when I went and had my salts tested from my sweat. So that's exciting as well. And that's also a plus in the box for knowledge about my body and how my body functions, and will support me when I'm going to chase these longer distance events in the future. Not right now, but obviously a half marathon, I know I'm going to be able to be bang on hydrated for and hopefully go and perform my best. And the second thing is, the third thing is on the first week of October, so 2 weeks before my half marathon, I will be retesting my 1RMs, or so my strongest lifts in deadlift, squat, and bench, which is going to be another tick in the box to me being able to train in two disciplines, in two different areas of strength and in running, and prove that it can be done continually. That is it for today's episode. If you have found today's episode interesting, please go over to Apple Podcasts and Spotify and drop a 5-star review. Like I said to you, those 6 hacks, I call them hacks because it's like the modern day way of saying it, but it's 6 tips to generate more energy in the morning, right? And like I said to you, if you are somebody who wakes up and feels, oh, I feel like shit, oh, I feel lethargic, oh, I feel tired, bang a couple of them into your routine and let me know the difference and see how you get on. But like I said, if you have enjoyed today's episode, please go over to Apple Podcasts and Spotify and drop a 5-star review. If you are watching on YouTube, hiya, it's just me today. Nobody that can wave opposite me today. But please do like and subscribe below. It does go a long, long way to helping the show. And like I said to you every week, I am really trying to push this YouTube consistency right now. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you here with a new episode every Friday. Take care.